What up? What up? What up? This Ibn Web Quran is some here. Official thanks thing I got going down here. Essex County all day. I've gotten DMs and texts and tapped on the shoulder when you do these Essex County all day editions here, especially the athletes here. If you could get this gentleman on, can you find a way to get him on? I've been fortunate enough to link up with him, and it's not a problem. That's what he told me. I'll do it. Brevin Knight, East Orange is on here. The compliments through the roof, but by far, a greater person than those accomplishments here. So I'm just gonna be quiet. We're gonna get Brev on, and we're just gonna talk a little bit, about his walk or what have you here. Looking forward to it. Hold tight.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Good living.
Good. How you been?
Man, I've been good, Joe. I got no complaints, man. Life is great.
Yeah.
For real. Life is great.
Nah. Thank you for doing this, man. I mean, I know it's probably not a dull moment, in the night residence, you coming and going, ripping and running, man. So for you to squeeze me in, man, like I said, I appreciate it. I know text you joking. I just told you, man, I'm like, Brad, about the had the boys at my house and bag me on some stalking charges or something.
Nah, bro. Yo, you hit on the shit. We move so much in the summer, yo. With so many moving pieces between the kids, between me and the missus.
Yeah.
Then our daughter was living overseas, so we went overseas to visit her.
Wow.
And so it was a lot, Joe. It was just, the summer is a lot. Almost sometimes we think we get to the summer and it's like this our break, but it's really not a break.
Nah, I hate, especially with kids and a wife here, man. So I trust me, I get it, man. I'm thinking I'm gonna just fall back and chill for a minute.
No. Forget that. No, I'm glad we did this. I should have made time for this before now.
Man, cut it out, man. In due time, that's how it work here, man. And I know obviously having Pops on and all this, you might have saw one or two of these, man. It's
Yeah, no, I did. I've seen a couple.
Yeah, and I know I'm just having some of your, contemporaries on here as well too, man. It's something out of the blue, man. It was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something totally left of me. You know me, I don't even like to talk. Yeah, and that's the crazy part about it. That's the crazy part about it. So, and my wife just be looking at me sideways every time I'm going to do one, like, yeah, like you running your mouth, huh? Yeah. So,
yeah. Hey, man, we all come out of our shell in our own way, in our own time.
Nah, definitely, man. So it's been a blast, man. Just folks I know, folks I've gotten to know, or just kind of even through this, and you just never know. Always one of the things around this too, man. You just never know where somebody's at in their life, man. And for me to link up or connect with them, man, it's a nice pick me up. Or if somebody's watching it, like, you know what, let me get my ass off this couch, him or her, and let me, like, I was that dude, I was that girl. Let me get back to this here. Let me get out of this little rut. So, I mean, so that's one of the reasons that really been cool about doing this, man.
Man, listen, whenever you can find that you benefiting people, right, then it makes it all the more worthwhile.
Nah, absolutely, man. So how long you been? Now you just recently moved to Memphis.
Well, we've been living, total, man. We've been living in Memphis for 17 years, man. But this is 12. First time we lived here 5 years. Now this is 12 years we've been living here.
Okay. I know what I'm thinking, because were you in Charlotte at one time?
But see, yeah, because we were dual, and for the first 9 years, I was living on the broadcast side.
Got you.
I was living in Memphis during the season, just me. The family stayed in Charlotte.
Okay.
And so I would go back and forth when I had time in between games. And then in the summers, I would go back to Charlotte all the time. And then just the last 3 years we've been living, because our last kid, started high school. And so I wanted to see him play a little basketball while he was in high school. So they moved here. So we've been living here as a family for the last 3. We totally moved out of Charlotte.
Okay.
And live here full time, and then we live up in Martha's Vineyard for the summer.
Okay, not too far from me, man. I'm in Connecticut, so That's a ride in a boat ride.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yo, what part of Connecticut?
I'm in Hartford these days.
Yo, man, I gotta get you because I come up and play TPC River Highlands.
Okay, okay.
I play there and then I'll go play TPC Boston. That's my love, yo. This golf just traveled, man. I'm about to go. We going to the Vineyard tomorrow, then straight to. I chose your schedule, yo.
I see that. I see that, man. And I know sound like all y'all like to do a walk. I know he said Walt's got a love for it too.
Walt got the bug badge, yo.
Yeah.
Walt and I played together a lot when I was living in Charlotte because that's
Mhm.
me. We
Yeah.
played all the time together, and then
Yeah.
we'll take a little trip. So it's man, I love it.
Brev, it's crazy. The first time I've been on a golf course in my life was back in July. I had a golf clinic that I did. That's the first time I ever even been on a golf course because I know I got somewhat of a addictive a personality. So if I get to going and competitive and I ain't leaving the golf course, I mean, my wife would probably send divorce papers on the golf course for me.
Well, listen, I told my wife, at least you know where I'm at.
Yeah, that's the truth around that.
You know what I mean? She knows exactly where to find me. I'm at the
Yeah.
club. You know exactly where to find me.
Yeah, nah, definitely, man. I know. Just backing up a little bit, man. I know, like, just take a slight little walk here. Now, born in is it Livingston?
Man, just in St. Barnabas Hospital. That's it, Joe. That's it. I told the people that like for all my teams when they used to put that in there, I was like, yo, put East Orange, New Jersey. Don't put that Livingston in my bio. Because see what happened was, whenever you fill out those the little questionnaires, they always ask you your place of birth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh yeah, so I was born in this hospital in this city. And then that's it. They run with that. But I never lived in, I never lived in Livingston. Shit, we couldn't afford to live in no Livingston, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I was born there, and then I went to Newark for a minute with my grandparents, and then we lived in Parsippany for the first 2 years of my life, and then we were straight to East Orange after that.
Okay. And then even growing up, man, was it always the same house there on Springdale when you went to East Orange?
Always on Springdale.
Okay.
The whole time. Loved it, Joe. Right across the street from Saville. I called it the best way that a kid could grow up was living where we did.
Now, how was that child? I know everybody's normal is different, man. How was you as a kid, man?
Man, I think I was probably a prankster.
Okay.
I love to, but I love to play. Like I always wanted to go outside and play, whatever it was, tag, whatever sport, baseball, football, basketball, whatever, soccer, tennis. We used to play tennis at Saville. Ping pong, something that I still do today. When you lost on the court, you would go play a couple of ping pong games before it was your turn to get back on the court again. And so, growing up, I think we did everything. I think that was that was the thing with being a kid that was so different than how it is today. We played video games a little bit, but for the most part, we went outside and we found things to do. And so I think I was just a kid that wanted to play most of the time and enjoy life. And that was it. But I realized the one thing that I had at that time was I was very organized.
Okay.
And that level of organization has now grown to what my wife calls OCD at this point.
Everybody got a diagnosis. Everybody got some type of diagnosis.
So, but yeah, yo, I had a great childhood, Joe. I couldn't ask for a better way to grow up.
Nah, definitely, man. And then this whole sports thing, when this come into play, I know it was obviously basketball somewhat could be the obvious because of who your father is, but it might not be, man. Like, how did this all come into play?
Well, I think it was our parents. My parents knew that we needed to do. You still needed an outlet.
Yeah.
Number one was always going to be school, and that was ingrained in us from day one. You want to go outside and play? Schoolwork has to be done. Grades have to be right. You want to play on teams and do all of those different things. we knew that we had to hit the books first and foremost. And then after that, it was just exposing us to as many things as possible. And that, but it's something that East Orange was so great at was that their rec program was fantastic in that it exposed us to every sport, and you could do it in the park in which was in your area. You think about it, East Orange, not that big of a city, but we had 9 parks.
Yeah.
And with those 9 parks, that was 9 individual teams that had baseball, that had basketball, there was tennis that was there. And then there was uniforms and transportation to go between parks to play each other, to play games. There were guys and women that were heads of the park that made sure that programs ran correctly and all those things. And so I think the sports thing was a byproduct of being outside. You're going to figure out to do something, playing with your friends, you figure it out. But it also was organized in a way that it was right there for us to do, and something that your parents felt comfortable with you doing, how you got to games and how you got home. It was just a well-run machine. And so I kind of credit East Orange's rec program with being something that really opened my eyes to all type sports.
That's right.
It just happened that basketball be the one that I love the most.
And even with that being said, you did dabble in a little bit of football, baseball, all that stuff as well too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, listen, that baseball was real quick though. Know why? Because the thing
that ball, you ain't like getting hit by the ball?
No, I wasn't even getting hit by the ball. The getting up at bat was fun because a lot of times I would just bunt or do something because I was fast as hell. So all I needed to do was somehow just make sure the ball was in play and I'm gonna get on base.
Okay.
And then I had fun. The problem was the pitching. I could not stand out there in that sun, bro, for you to walk 5, 6 batters every inning. We just stand out there kicking dirt. You see the skin color?
Yeah.
It's brightened up with on the screen, I think, somewhat. But it was already a suntan year round. I didn't need any extra sun. So it got to the end of the season. I think it was my sixth grade. It got to the end of the year. And Danny Hall was our park supervisor. At the end, I went to him. I folded up all my gear, my uniform, my stirrups, everything. I handed him. I was like, "Danny, I'm never playing baseball again. It's too damn. It's just too hot, man, to be standing out there watching it." And then football, my mom wouldn't let me play for the longest. She wouldn't let me play tackle. And then she finally let me play tackle. And that was in the 6th grade, and I loved it. Got hurt in the 9th grade. And then I was like, yo, I ain't going nowhere with this football. We hanging these football pads up. And then from that point on, it was all basketball.
Yeah. That's why people didn't know you played your freshman year in high school as far as football.
Yeah. I love shucks. That was the thing that I loved most was special teams. Like I played quarterback, and that was fun. Being out there and being able to throw the ball and find people, but also run and do. But kick return in terms of punts or kickoffs was what I love to do more than anything. And so it was something people were like, yeah, but that's like suicide. I was like, not if you run next to the sideline a lot. You make that move up the middle and then you get to that sideline. So before it's time to get hit, step out of bounds.
Yo, you wasn't trying to get lit up, huh?
No, listen, I'll reverse field. I do some old zigzag run around. By the end of the day, I just need just a little crease for me to just get on the giddy up, and that was it.
Yeah. Nah, that's funny. Get your Tecmo Bowl on and just be out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a video game.
Speaking even about high school, was it like a no-brainer that you was going to Seton Hall? It wasn't Scott? It wasn't anything else? Was it pretty much that's where you're going?
You know my dad, and there are very few things that I think my dad will be animated about, as animated as you'll ever see him. And going to Clifford Scott was never an option.
Okay.
And I think it was never an option. Once I didn't go to Hart Middle for middle school, then it made it okay. The other thing was, it was free for me to go to Seton Hall Prep just because of my parents working at the university. They had a program that was called tuition remission that allowed us to be able to have the opportunity to go to the prep. And so it was for my dad to go there, and then for me to have the opportunity, and then Brandon after me. It was something that we could say could be a family legacy. But it also gave us great education, gave us helped us in our background. But and at that time still is, it was a fantastic basketball school.
Right. No, absolutely, man. Because the reason I asked that, because obviously you started, the AAU network and all this other stuff here. I thought somebody might try to pull you, these parochial schools, especially now. It's crazy now. So I didn't know how bad it was back then, as far as if somebody was the sweet talk Mr. Knight. To your point here, that wasn't going to happen.
But here's the thing, though. This is what I always tell everybody. Like, we have to be real about where I came from and who I was in terms of how people perceive me as a player. Went back at that time. We played together because we created a family team to have an opportunity to play, because I ain't have a chance to play nowhere else. We ain't have a chance to play I ain't have a chance to play on another team because people ain't think we was good enough. That pretty much was the team that we put together.
Yeah.
Was a team of people that they thought wasn't good enough for any other team. And it was like, hey, well, we'll all play together. We did that for a couple of years. And from after that point, for me, it was just hanging on to a team here, maybe trying to get on a team here, play a little bit. And then things just kind of broke in my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
Things started to change a little bit. But up until that time, like back in middle school in East Orange, I was probably considered the third best point guard in East Orange back then. And then once some of the young guys started getting better, I might have dropped behind them. So I always tell people, it wasn't like I didn't have some story of these people was coming after you or this. Like, we didn't go to Seton Hall for basketball. I went to Seton Hall because it was going to give me the best chance to go to the best college after that. That was, I told you, first and foremost was academics.
Right.
So that still was what it was. The basketball thing was that my mom and dad knew how much I loved it. Yeah. And I think my dad knew. My mom knew how good I was, and she knew basketball because she went to everything. She saw how I compete. But my dad was different in that he saw basketball differently, and he knew that my time was going to come later. He didn't get caught up in the no playing time, what team he going to be on. To me, I thought he didn't really care about it. But it wasn't that. He always knew that my time was going to be later. And so he didn't concern himself with it wasn't happening now. He didn't concern himself. And so I didn't realize it at that point until later on. And so, my going to Seton Hall, that was just work my behind off. We had great teammates. Coach Farrell was a phenomenal basketball coach to put people where they need to be, the best they could be. And I just kept getting, I was just hungry, man. Like, because even when I thought I was good, it was still like, well, this guy's better. Right. We got this guy over here is better still. He's better. It's like, that's all right. I'm going to get mine. What I'm going to do is just keep winning county championships when we did. I'm going to keep winning state championships. We'll keep going to the tournament champions, finals, semifinals. And at the end of the day, we'll take what we get from there.
Nah, most definitely, man. Before I even touch on a couple of those moments there, playing for your father, how was that those North Ram early days? How was them car rides? Not even the car rides. How was it at the crib? Like how was it for you?
It's like I don't I don't remember it being anyway.
Okay.
I remember it as being mostly quiet.
Okay.
But it was enjoyable though. And I know it's crazy just because I was able to do it with my dad, but I was able to play.
Right.
Like it was, and playing and us having the success that we did, it was also validating for me. And when I would do it. So even when he would be upset, but I knew he was happy, whatever was going on with there, I was still so focused on us being good, and us being good was going to validate that. To hell with everybody that thought that we weren't good enough. Like that was my entire drive, and playing on those North Ram teams at those times. So it was fun that I did it with him, and I was happy that he gave us opportunity. But I was so self-driven that it really didn't matter what happened between us, because I was a hothead. I was the one that was, he was the one that was calm. It was that, so it would be me that was mostly the one that would be emotional. But again, I was so focused on us winning, man, just showing people that we were better than what they thought we were.
Nah, most definitely, man. And then even swinging back over the high school side of things, so back then you couldn't play varsity as a freshman. That was a senior hall prep thing, wasn't it?
Yes. So our freshman year, I was like, that's fine, and it was cool because I knew that the people that, and that's why I always give my dad credit for. And my mom was just, she's everything that I am. Pops he was the mental side of things, and so the mental side of me was, I didn't mind playing freshman because I was going to have to play with these guys for the next 4 years anyway, in order for me to be good. So I might as well figure out how to make them be good right now. So junior, senior year, we can be like a for real good team. Because I knew sophomore year, I still was going to have Ira Bowman, and all of those elder statesmen guys were going to be there. I was going to be the young guy, but my junior year, I was going to go back to my freshman year people. So freshman year, we go 23-0. We went and it was like, I was like, cool, this is what I wanted to do, because junior year, when all y'all come up from JV, shit, we're gonna have to keep this thing going.
That's right.
And so that let them know that I'm with them. So in 2 years, we'll be ready to keep rocking. And it worked perfectly.
No, it absolutely did, man. And you mentioned even that following year, that sophomore year, man, Lord, y'all went on that magical ride, man.
Yeah, man, 31-1, man. That was, I mean, to win 31 straight games in high school at that time, I mean, that was huge for our team and for our school, and to make it, to be able to play against the St. Anthony's that had Hurley, had Roderick Rhodes on it at that time was big for us, and so it was, for me, it was, you know, it was really big, because I think that was my coming out party.
Coming out party,
was my sophomore year, because but again, it all came down was because we won.
That's right.
Like, because we won, then people were like, man, how are they winning? What are people doing? And I started to really make my name in the state playoffs against McCorston with Mark Bass, who was an all-time scorer. We played against them, and Coach Farrell said, Brevin, all I want you to worry about, run a team good, but you got to stop him. And we win this game. I think he had 9 or 11 points in that game. And from that game, that's when it started to be like, yo, this dude might be good.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going from there.
Nah, and it's interesting you mentioned that. I mean, even sophomore year coming out party.
But hold on, let me tell you this, Ed. Hold on, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I defended Mark Bass tough and made him take tough shots. He just ain't make no shot. So I'm acting like I always tell people, I'm gonna say like I stop you. That's where I shot. But I was there, forced him to take some difficult shots that he just didn't make them.
Yeah, man, that's part of the game, as you know, man. But also, did you start realizing, like, I mean, you probably knew maybe a little earlier, but it's just start coming to fruition. Like, defense is your calling card for the most part. I mean,
I knew that when we was little.
Okay.
Because, you know, growing up in the parks, the only way at Cyber, we had 3 courts. You had one court that was kind of just whatever, a bunch of people that don't play basketball. Then our 2 main courts that were back to back was
back to back, right.
Yeah, it was like a like middle school, high school court was this one, and then this was the for real court. Like this is everybody that's grown men, big time college, high school. That's the real court. So in order to move from this court here, somebody got to pick you.
Yeah.
And so for me, getting from here to here, once the first time I got the chance to play on the for real court, I was like, shit, I'm not supposed to be shooting the ball. Like that's not. That's all. But I got to figure out what can I do to help us still like win, because I want to stay on the court, because I'm afraid if I lose, then they ain't gonna pick me again. I'm the young guy. They're gonna move on. So I got out there and I just defended my ass off. Stealing the ball off, defending you, take the ball from you, or you try to make a pass. When I tell you, it was literally 5, 6, 7 steals every game, yo. It was every game. People used to be like, it's amazing to the way that he's stealing the ball. But I just knew I used the same smarts that my mom and them made me use for school. I just used it in basketball. And a lot of it was angles, somebody's dribbling. Like I tell people, it's crazy how I even did it. If you dribbling, that's how you steal the ball on the ball. When you go to put the ball down, that's where I'm going to go steal the ball. When you go to put the ball down, how can you can't dribble again?
That's right.
You got to wait for the ball to hit the ground before you touch it again. And so unless you dribbling the ball, boom, 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 real low the whole time, as soon as you do it, I'm going to get you. And so I watched your cadence, how you dribble, the moves you like to make. I don't want to steal the ball early. I just got to see what you do. Yeah. So all of those, everything I did, everything that I became later on, I learned in the park. I learned how to be aggressive. I learned how to stand up for myself. I learned how to call next. I learned how to win in tight situations. I learned how to lose. I learned how to sit out for multiple games and not be on the court. I learned the hunger to want to stay on the court no matter what it takes. Like all of who I was, the essence of me as a basketball player, all started in Sabro Park and in the mind of Melvin Knight.
Yeah. And also that's where some of that OCD started to develop even on the court.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. The same patterns, the same way that how meticulous I am with this, that, and other was the same way I played the game. Was, you know what? Don't turn the ball over. That's the other reason why people pick me up. Because you know what? He always gonna make the right pass. And ain't gonna turn the ball over.
Yeah. Now,
people always like to play with the guy that passed.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely, man. And then I know you talked about those guys moving up as far as your freshman squad when that sophomore year they left, and y'all continue to run and do your thing here. These state titles, these tournament champion runs, man. Like one of the compliments, I don't know if you even remember this compliment. I think it was your senior year. I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember Coach Hurley, Bob Hurley, was like, he said, I don't ever want to see you Brevin Knight again. I think though y'all lost, that was one of he's like, I don't never want to see him again. Like that.
That's a big pat on the back, man. Whenever you hear stuff like that from him, Larry Brown, things that he said about me when I was in the NBA. Whenever you hear guys that really understand the game. I mean, and people that just talk the game that on TV, it's like, but when aficionados of the game, the savants, these guys that know it in and out say it tends to mean a little bit more.
No, absolutely, man. Did you the whole recruitment? Did you realize that at a point like I want to play in college? I mean, did that hit you at a certain point?
Yeah, I always wanted I always wanted to play in college because I knew it was the best way for me to get a scholarship to go to school. I didn't want to have to try to burden my parents with taking out loans and doing different things, or having to go to just a school that I really didn't want to just because of the finances. And so I knew that I needed to work hard to be able to secure a scholarship, and didn't know if, when, how. It was just whenever I had a chance to play basketball, I always thought somebody was watching.
Okay.
And so even how I got the recruitment to go to Manhattan was because Fran Fraschilla recruited Ira Bowman to Providence when we were younger. And then he saw me and he watched me at the games when he was really watching Ira. He saw me in practice. And then when he got the head coaching job to go to Manhattan, I was the first person he called to be his recruit to come to play in Manhattan. He was like, he came into our house, gave me the basketball. He said, "Here, I want to give you this basketball for 4 years. You come run the program. You be the person that sets it all up for what the future, what the the future generations of basketball players come through Manhattan, what they would stand for. And he was the first person to really let me know, like, oh, I got a chance. That'd be cool that I could play in college.
What happened with the Manhattan thing? I mean,
Stanford came.
Yeah.
I mean, I told Fran, and when I told him, he was like, Brevin, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no way I could try to tell you not to go to Stanford. Mm-hmm. That would be me not caring about you if I said that. And so he blessed it, and it was. I mean, a lot of people know the story. It's probably it was more of a mistake than anything with going to Stanford, but it was making sure that everything was in place. So if the opportunity came, I was ready for it.
Right.
Like nobody knew Stanford was going to be in the cards for me to go to. First off, to go to as a college, and then to play basketball there. And just by happenstance, Jeff Jackson came to watch basketball. Dan Earl, who played in South Jersey, went on to Penn State. His game got canceled. That's who they really was coming to see.
They come to see him. Okay.
He came up to Elizabeth High School where we were playing summer league, and watched us play. Saw me play. After the game, asked Coach Farrell, "How were my grades? Could they recruit me to go to Stanford?" And Coach Farrell said, "Heck yeah, that's exactly where you could recruit them to go, because Pac-12 was changing. They needed quicker guards. They needed somebody with some." And so, I went out on my visit. Mike Montgomery said, "I got one scholarship. If you or Dan says yes first, that's who will take the scholarship." I went in the other room, called Brenda, like, mine is what they said. She said, "You'd be crazy not to take it." I was like, "I know." I went back in and said, "I'll take it." And that's how I even went to Stanford, with Mike Montgomery not knowing one bit who I was as a player. So much that they brought in the first junior college player they ever did at Stanford at the point guard position, because they had no idea what they had. And then I just went and hit with him with the same mentality that I had when I was in the park, when I was in grammar school, when I was at Seton Hall Prep. The same, you're going to have to beat me, is how I went at him every day from the first day we stepped on campus to when preseason started. He left school to go somewhere else because he wasn't going to play.
Yeah. Wow, man. So you committed right during your visit. You made that call. So this is nice.
Because if not, then my other choice was I was going to have to go to SMU, and that was only because John Shoemake was the head coach at SMU, which I honestly had no idea what the hell SMU was about, or I was going to go to Manhattan.
Okay. Wow. And then, like you said, you get out to Pac-10 back then, man. You got Jay Kidd, you got Damon Stoudemire. Was Tyus Edney still there, or was
Tyus Edney was there? Yes. Shucks, those were good times, man.
Yeah.
I had to grow up quick.
I was gonna ask you 3,000 miles away, man, and outside of basketball, it's life too, man. Like, Grant, I know you got the palm trees to bring some calm to you, but you're still a human. You still a teenager growing up, man. Like, I mean,
I went from 99% black city to Palo Alto.
Yeah.
It was culture shock is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was on campus crossing the street. They pulled me over for jaywalking. I had no idea what jaywalking was. We ain't never worry about crossing the street, no crosswalk. You don't cross the street, you cross the street. I mean, the gym is right here. Why the hell am I walk all the way down there to walk in some cross lines when I can just walk straight across the street right here? I looked both ways before I crossed.
Yeah. Who was your support out there, man? Like, who'd you have to hold you down?
Man, I had some great friends, man. I stayed. Stanford has themed dorms on campus, which are cultural themed dorms. And there's a Asian themed dorm. There's a Hispanic themed dorm. There's a Native American, African American themed dorms that they have. And I stayed in when I went, I was early. They were like, well, you can pick where you want to stay. You got these brand new dorms, which is going to be mixed of everybody. you guys will be. I'll be very in the minority because there's not a lot of black students anyway. Or you can stay in Uj, it's called Ujima.
Okay.
That's the African American themed one. I was like, oh, put me in that one. Put me where the black people are.
Yeah.
It's for me in terms of living. That's all I know. So I go there and I make 5 friends that are still my five good friends to this day from school that I've met day one. One of them was from Jersey, played at was one of Montclair Kimberly Academy.
Okay.
I played against him. Didn't even know. We played him in the first round of the state, and second round of the state, and smacked him. But he was like, "You don't remember, yo? I played against you in high school. Yeah. This is now one of my good friends.
Okay.
That I met at Stanford, and that's how I got through, because he was from Irvington. My other boy is from L.A., but he is, but just another dude that's smart, but still just kicked it and did your work, but you still had a good time. Other boys then the other 2 boys, both from New York, and then my roommate was from Oakland. And so those, to this day, we travel every summer. We all get together and go somewhere every year. So how I got through was those five guys, and then meeting my wife, and that is what. And I had great teammates, great coaches. We had great people around the basketball program were phenomenal. But in terms of making me feel the stuff away from the game, making me feel good, it was those 5 guys and then Dina.
Nah, good shit, man. And I know even on the actually, I'm gonna forget that. This is my fanned out moment right here. Did you ever have classes with Tiger Woods?
No, man, but Tiger and I talked a lot, because Tiger would come to the gym and would set up some cups and would putt on the basketball court.
In the gym, okay.
Yeah, because it was like that was his way to get ready for Augusta.
Okay.
Because that's how fast the greens were. And so there, and then being in the training room, and then early in my career when he was in Orlando a lot, he would come to games. I would see some tournaments. So we interacted, but when he first came to Stanford, it was my sophomore year, because he was a year behind me.
Okay.
When he got there, everybody's like, yeah, he's got Tiger Woods coming to Stanford. I was like, I don't really know. So I really wasn't golfing that way. And so I was like, man, I don't really give a damn about Tiger Woods. It's my school.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Brevin Night School. And then later on, I realized that some years down the road, maybe it's Tiger Woods, man. Maybe a little bit bigger than Brevin Night.
Nah. Hey, man, neck and neck here, man. Speaking, and even being your school here, it was definitely, you was given the keys early on, man. You started all the games that you played except one, I believe.
Yeah.
What you got in trouble? You got in trouble that day?
No, no, I don't know. So there may have been a game where I had limited minutes, or a game. There was a game where I think that's what it was. Not supposed to play really. Okay. And may have then still gotten out there, but wouldn't get the start for it. But I went in, and what happened was, from the preseason all the way through, I won. My teams won, no matter how they mixed up the people. We won.
Okay.
We won, and then I was different. Mike Montgomery and I was the first player that he threw out of practice twice. The only player that he ever threw out of practice, because I was fiery.
That's right.
Like I was, and my emotions were raw, and that's not. It wasn't what they were accustomed to, but I think my personality then started to wear on them, but also the lifestyle of being out in school and how they grow up, that also wore off on me.
Yeah, definitely interchangeable there as far as that goes, man. And you guys somehow y'all got going, man. I know tournament runs, and I know particularly what your last year was, it Elite Eight.
We lost in Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Okay.
We lost to Utah in overtime, and I always say we should have won because I hit the 3, and Andre Miller fouled me at the end of the game. I should have had a free throw, but we didn't. And ultimately, they were just. I mean, they had 4 pros on that team and just outlasted us.
Then back to playing with these guards and just playing with everybody. Again, you from East Orange, New Jersey, so it ain't but so much you haven't seen as far as players, man. But that Pac-10, man, just how was it night in and night out?
Man, it was fun, man, because I knew I had a battle every night. There was never a night off. There was the big name people. There was a guy named Kenya Wilkins that played. I always tell people that played in Oregon, who was probably my toughest matchup for all 4 years because we were the same year and we battled all the way through. Jay Kidd is the one who I credit with even giving me the thought that I could be a professional basketball player.
Okay.
Like going to college or something, I never thought about being a pro. That never crossed my mind. It was literally, let's try to get to college, make some connections, graduate, get a good job, have a family, just live life. And then that was it. And then I played him, and after the first time we played, we shake hands after the game. He's like, yo, you got a chance to be a pro. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, man, you just keep working. You could be a pro. And after he said that, it was the first time that I ever practiced basketball individually. Like
I was going to ask about.
I never worked out before.
No.
In my entire, I never worked out in basketball. Never. Like, I mean, you know, my dad down in Essex go do your left hand layups. Now do your right hand layups. You know, like those type things, yes, in order to build up the bait. But in terms of like going specifically over here to work out, we're gonna do drills, and I never did that. Just went to the park and played all day, every day. All day, every day played. Practice certain things while you're over there. And so that was the first time. Freshman year, I came home after my freshman year, and that was the last time I went back to East Orange.
Nah, and just hearing that from J Kidd, man, obviously that meant a lot in the work you had to put in, man. Now, and that you did, the accolades start pouring, all this. Was it a time, even like your junior year, did you think about the Klan, or was that?
Yeah, we talked about it. We, you know, got the consensus of what would happen. I would have probably been a late first round, probably a second round pick at that time. And you know, the one thing that I promised my parents, mostly my mom, was that I was going to graduate college.
Okay.
And I knew that if I would have gone to the league at that point, no way I was going to go back to school. Like, I was already done with school. And after the 9th grade, I was like, listen, I understand I'm going to keep doing well because it's a necessary evil, but I don't like this school thing at all. And so it was, when I wasn't coming home, I was also going to summer school while I was at Stanford. Summer school, working out, playing in a pro-am. That's all I did for the next 2 summers. Go to school, work out, go to work, play in a pro-am, do it all again the next day. Like I was like a machine in what I was going to do. That's why I always tell people, I don't know anybody outside of the people in my dorm, my freshman year, my basketball teams. I tell people the sad part for me is, outside of that, I may know 5 other white people that went to Stanford that when I went there, outside of people that was on the basketball team and somebody that lived in my dorm. Maybe 5 other white people.
Just because I was routine and that you was locked in.
The routine, but also that's not what, like, when I go to school with you, that's cool, we go to school.
Yeah.
But when I always went home and it was always us when I went home. Like, I can go to school with you, we do school stuff, but I always go home. I go home to a comfort.
Right.
So when I was at Stanford, it was we go to class, whatever, but I always went home to my comfort. And then once I moved off campus, it was literally just go to class, go to work. Go to the gym, go back to the crib, do it again the next day. Like I was when he told me I could be a pro, and then I could do something to change the fortunes of my family. Yo, it was 100%, Joe. That's all I did.
Now, even with that being said, man, you hear these words, man, with the 16th pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Brevin Knight. Like, what was going on, man? I know probably a whole bunch of stuff, man, at that moment. What was going on with you, right?
Oh man, it's you know, even sitting here now, it's like the emotions of everything it took to get to that point. Like what my parents had to sacrifice from younger to the work that we had to put in to get there, to the work that we did while I was at Stanford with my assistant coach, Keith Larson. Like, dude let me pretty much live with him. I had my West Coast parents, pretty much Kay and Chip. They let me.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived with them when I had to. I mean, it was so much to get to that point, and then to finally be like, to hear him say it, to walk up there. It was like, people were like, did you cry? And I was like, I don't know if I cried. I was like, I think it was almost like you can start to enjoy this now. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a lot of people, like, I don't remember that I scored a lot of points in high school. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember that you had quadruple double. Like, I don't remember anything like that because I was so driven on trying to prove that I was as good as I was, that I didn't even enjoy what was happening. Mm-hmm. Like, and so when they called my name, it was like, yo, I can enjoy this. Like we're here to a point where people say, well, afterwards, yo, I was like, yo, we didn't even go out. Like I had dinner with my wife, my mom, my dad, Brand, my agent, financial people, some other family people were there. And then we just went back to the hotel and literally just watched TV, talk, chilled out, because it was like it's the same little clique that was rocking with me. Yeah. When people was like, oh yeah, you was good, but these people kept being like, nah, yo, you better than good. I was like, I'm still just gonna rock with these people. I'll never forget and say, oh yeah, I'm still cool with everybody else, but I never forget. Don't act like I was always that guy, bro. Like, y'all, that's not how y'all saw me. These people always saw me this way. Yeah. So that's all we did, Joe. Yeah. That was it. It was that moment for me, yeah, but it was also, I wanted to be the moment for them.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. Things in life, I mean, like for me, you know where you at certain moments in your life here as far as things happening. The day you got drafted, I remember vividly. I had a, you know us, whether we're gonna play some sports, we're gonna try to rap, we're gonna try to do something here, man. So I had a little group back in college, man. It was like we had actually a show that night. We actually had a show. I was like, I can't go to the show, not tonight. The draft, I think my man about to get put on here. So I wound up, obviously we did the show, tore it down, but somebody had to come to me and tell me like you wound up getting drafted. So because again, we was doing a whole bunch of other stuff here. But like I said, it was one of those moments in my life, like where was you at when something happened? That's where I was at that time here, man. So
yeah, I knew that you had gone your music route. I knew that had been something that you were enjoying at that time.
Yeah, no, but it was just great just to see, man, as far as, and it's just kind of like, even from there, it's kind of, as you mentioned, trying to enjoy it, but the other work begins. You got the business stuff, you got to get the paperwork, contracts, all that other stuff here, man. But, and then, because you going in, are you replacing Terrell Brandon at this time?
Yeah, Terrell Brandon goes to Minnesota, and I come in. So myself, Bob Sura was there, and Scotty
drafted
Brooks.
Derek Anderson too.
They drafted Derek Anderson, and they drafted Cedric Henderson from Memphis that night. They had three. So we, in essence, started playing us, myself, then Zydrunas Ilgauskas was considered still a rookie because the year before he broke his foot, never played, and Sean Kemp.
That's right.
That became the nucleus of our team, was a bunch of young dudes running around and Sean Kemp.
Now, do you take a moment? I mean, again, I know you locked in and organized and everything, but like, yo, damn, I just watched this man a few years ago catching lives all over the place. Now I'm playing with him.
That's when I knew I was in the NBA. When I walked in the locker room, we sat next to each other.
Okay.
Like when I walked in and it was Kemp and Knight, I was like, yo,
yeah.
Now I'm in the NBA, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this the dude that we was playing video games with. You know what I'm saying? NBA Jam.
NBA Jams, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this the Rain Man.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to play with the Rain Man. And he came in and he was great, Joe. I tell people have all the stories they're saying. I love Sean Kemp.
Yeah.
Because he taught us how to be professional in terms of what not to do. Like how to go out. He taught us how to go out, how not to go out. He taught us when it's time to come to the gym, no matter what you was doing, to put in your work, until you get to the status of him where we knew when he came in the gym and he had on the sweats and he has his sweatshirt tucked into his sweats.
Yeah.
That means it's a no work day. I mean, he gonna ride the bike and do some other, but hey, he had worked to get to that point. But he was a great veteran for us young guys.
What adjustments did you have to make being in NBA versus college? I mean, again, I know the season obviously is longer, but what else?
Biggest thing was I had to play a different role.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I had to learn that the business side of this game was a lot bigger than the basketball side.
Okay.
And you had to figure out how you fit into all of that. You could keep trying to fit the square into a circle peg, into a round circle, or you could figure out how to shave your game to make it round enough to fit into the circle. And so I had to figure out how to shave my game. You know, I love getting the mid-range shots. I wanted to shoot 12, 13 shots a game. I would like to do that. But once I got to the league, I realized that wasn't going to be my role. My role was going to be going back to Salvo Park in some way.
Yeah.
Which was dominate defensively, which is why I led the league in total steals my rookie year and was tops in steals just about every year I played. And that's what it was. Make good passes, make sure you got people open, it's always high in assists, good assist to turnover ratio, and then make mid-range shots when it got there. And so I had to adjust that way in how I played. But at the end of the day, it was also figure out how to win. And we won, made it back to the playoffs as a 6th seed our rookie year with all of those young guys.
Yeah.
We made it there. Lost to Indiana in the first round, but it was again though, it was like cool though. They said we weren't supposed to make the playoffs. We weren't gonna be a good team, too young, no experience. They got guys at positions that's not gonna be able to fulfill those roles. We were able to do it. And so it was just again, it was like that summer, went back, it was like, again, Dad, they said I couldn't do it. Couldn't lead a team, not supposed to be a pro. Because we go to the playoffs. And so it felt good.
Nah, most definitely, man. And even that rookie year, you get to come back home All-Star Weekend, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah, we get back to go to New York and play on All-Star Weekend and the rookie game, and it's in the Garden, and it's in New York. It's like, yo, what more can I ask for? It's like this is, if y'all told me that, all right, man, know what, bro, that might be it. I'm like, well, I lived the hell in career. I walked across the stage, shook David Stern's hand, signed a contract, sitting next to Sean Kemp, playing with him. I'm in the rookie game in New York City, where everybody can see. We go out and have a great night. It was heaven to be able to do that. And again, what was good though was right back to not my brothers that I went to college with, but my brothers that I grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all go out every night. The same group of, they're my cousins by blood, but I call them my brothers because we always, when I got to Cleveland, it was my cousin by blood, but my brother who lived with me for 8 years. Him, his brother, I got 6 of us. People was like, did you have this person? Who'd y'all meet? I was like, yo, you know what I did? I had my 6 cousins, my 6 brothers, and we went out and we kicked it every night. And it was, I loved it.
Now the family's starting to form around this time. Obviously, you got the wife and everything.
Yes,
like basketball.
She was pregnant at that. I was able to run around and do that because she was pregnant. I was like, hey, you can't be running around in these streets now. You're pregnant.
yeah. But just throughout your career, man, just how much of a toll has that taken? Just to up and move, or just to travel? You gone? I mean, again, I know you try to put systems in place and just your personalities like that anyway. But just how was it? Just again, if it was a trade, you get traded, or how was all of that? I mean, again, because you got kids maybe not understanding everything.
Right. Well, we bounced around in the beginning of my career. So you say the first 4 years we were in Cleveland. So that's where we were. Everybody was at home. We didn't start the moving around until after it was that 1 year. I go to half a year in Cleveland. I mean Atlanta, so they stay in Cleveland. The next year I get traded. I'm in Memphis, and so we start the Memphis season. We don't know, is this going to be a long-term situation because or I'm on the second year of a deal already, or so should we move or not? We signed that 1 year, we back and forth. Then I signed a new deal, we moved to Memphis. And so we live in Memphis, and then we get to Charlotte once 2 years, we get to Charlotte. You know what? Then the kids are still young enough. When I go to Charlotte, we all move to Charlotte.
Okay.
And so the moving around for them, they only move 3 times.
Okay.
With the family, because once they got to a certain age where the kids now had friends and they were really ingrained in the school and old enough now to understand everything that was going on, then we didn't want to have them jumping around. And then I started to be at the end of my career. It was a year, 2 years here, 1 year here, one. We don't want to do that. So that's when they started to live in Charlotte. And for me, it was tough because I miss. You miss things, you miss plays, you miss parent-teaching conferences, you miss other school events that you would like to be at. It's always like, you're the dad that when I do come, everybody's like, Brenna, Kayla, Donovan, your dad's here. It's like, it's a big thing because they don't see me all the time if I'm on a team that's not in that city. And so it was sad, but you also understand that I have more time with them than the average parent does that is a working father that goes out to work every day or travels to work, because I only work for 6 months of the year. And then for the other 6 months of the year, then I just is strictly hanging out with the family. And so that's where we really bond and do things in that way. And for my wife and I, that just became, if I'm home for a couple of weeks in a row and we're at home and it's me and her, she's like, yo, it's time for you to go somewhere. You gotta go, you gotta do something. Because I don't want you to just be here by yourself. I can't just be here with just me and you. Like, I need my time. And so we've gotten used to that. And so it's just the rhythm of what we know. I don't know how to do anything other than travel and be on the road.
Now, interest, as far as obviously basketball is your career, your love, everything else, man, but did you start garnering any other interest, whether business-wise or, I know everybody get in the league and they set up a nonprofit. I mean, I don't know if there's other stuff that you just enjoyed getting into, like, you know what, I kind of like this, and I know this ball ain't gonna bounce forever. Or was there
the nonprofit-wise, we had a foundation, Assist by Night Foundation, that we ran for 10 years and did a lot of fantastic things with it, but got to the point where we realized that we were not having enough sponsors to keep doing all of the things that we wanted to do, and all of the logistics of having the foundation and the people that we were working for. It was too much for us to continue to do at that level. And so what we did, we dissolved the foundation, and then we just identified. Now what we did was we just do partnerships. I identify different charities that we enjoy, we like what they're doing, and then we just donate and help those charities in that way. And so that was what we did charity-wise. What we still do to this point. Golf became and is at this point is my passion. As much as the love that I had for basketball growing up, in a way, is the same way as I love golf to this day, where it is I am addicted to golf. And so that became a love. Business-wise, did some investment things in terms of real estate and things of that nature, but it's not something that excites me that much. And so if there's a deal that's kind of cool, then I may jump in on a deal as an investor, but nothing heavy in terms of business. I felt like I made my money doing what I love to do, and now now I have a job that I really love doing on the broadcast side that does well for me financially. And so many times people just say that, oh, you made money, or what business you gonna open? I'm like, well, if that's not something that you enjoy, then
right.
there's no need in you going out and just putting money into just anything. And so I enjoy life, man. I do regular everyday things, man, except for I know everyone can't play golf 4 times a week. That's what I do. 4 or 5 times a week, I'm at the golf course.
At the course,
or I'm traveling and hang out with the midgets after that, because shucks, we're empty nesters. Our son is 17, 18. He has his girlfriend. He does his thing. And so we're this a next stage of life for us.
Yeah. Nah, definitely here. But real quick with the NBA stuff, man, like night in and night out, man, you obviously playing, point guard, leader, everything that the point guard entails here, man. And you just going at it with these guys, man. Like no days off, man. Like, how'd you do it?
Listen, man, the same mentality. It sounds, I guess, cliche or whatever, but I went out with saying that I still got to prove I'm not supposed to be here, and everyone is going to try to figure out or nitpick or why he shouldn't be on the floor. He can't do it. So it was a battle for me, night in and night out, just to stay with the mindset. I enjoy competing. I enjoy playing. I enjoy proving the naysayers wrong. And then, as you go down the road, then, like I said, the business side kicks in. Now it's just ensuring you're getting contracts. Make sure you play 10 years. But the waking up every day and enjoying to compete was what I love to do. Again, I hated practice, but I love game days. When it was time to walk in that gym and the popcorn is popping, the lights are on, it's a little bit brighter, the buzz in the crowd, I'm ready to hoop. Wake up and go to 11 o'clock practice. I was the worst practice player that you could ever find.
Yeah. You didn't get kicked out of any practices as a pro, did you?
No, not as a pro. As a pro,
they probably try to find you or something, getting you hit the
exactly. You know what I'm saying? It costs you money then. So when it start costing you money, guys start thinking, you think a little, you have to start second guess, is that really worth it?
You got any guys that you still like maintain like close friendships from the league, or?
Keith Bogans is a good friend of mine. We played together in Charlotte. Cedric Henderson, who I talked about,
you got drafted with.
He and I are still are great friends, especially here in Memphis. We hang out all the time. Nazi Muhammad is a good. He and Charlotte, we got close there in Charlotte. We play a lot of golf together. I guess I would say those are the main guys that I would say that I talk to on a regular basis. That were pros, and then from there, everybody else is. If you're in the area, let's go play a golf game. So we may not talk all the time, but if we get in the same place, then we'll get together. And I think that's just how the NBA brotherhood is that if you're in the area, it's almost as if you just pick up where you left off. There's not a something that's I don't even know anymore. Nick Van Exel is another one. So I've been around Quick a lot here, being when he was an assistant coach here with the Grizzlies, and so and then also just in playing golf and being around, we've forged a good relationship.
Nah, good stuff, man. And this TV life, man. What was the interest?
Now, I wanted to stay around the game, but I didn't want to coach.
That coaching shit.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want the headache of it. And I wanted the same rhythm of working. I was trying to figure out how can I still work 6.5 months.
Okay.
And have the other 5.5. If the team is good, 5. If not good, 6 months, or whatever it may be. How can I have extended time off in the summer to just enjoy life and literally do nothing? And I always like broadcasting. I did the first year they did a broadcasting program through basketball MBPA, the Players Association.
Okay.
And I did that, and it exposed you to every medium there is in terms of radio, TV, studio, calling games, interviews, print, all different genres within the media umbrella. And the one thing that I really enjoyed doing within that was calling games, because it still gave me a chance to teach the game of basketball, talk about basketball, have some fun, bring a little joy to the game, and still be close to it. And my wife always said that I had to continue to have a traveling job because she didn't want me home all the time.
Yeah.
And so this was conducive to the way that we are, just the travel that we know already. So the same rhythm, we just stay in the same rhythm. And, you know, luckily I fell into good places. Charlotte they didn't have a radio analyst. So when I retired, I went to them. We were living in Charlotte, and I was like, "Well, can I be a radio analyst for home games? Because I'm here just to, you know, get my foot in the door, get my teeth wet, all of that to understand, you know, what the job was like." Did that for the year. They were good. We got a chance to go to the playoffs. Went to Orlando and to call some games, and then the next year, the Grizzlies called and said, "Would I come in for an audition?" And my owner at that time, he and I had a really good, we forged a relationship from the time I was there playing, from the time I was here playing for the team. And their analyst was wanting to cut back. He wanted an NBA player, would have liked for it to be a former Grizzly if possible. It all just fit. I came in, did an audition. They liked it. And say 12 years later, I went from kind of part-time to the last 6 years calling every game home and away. And I also do the pre-game and post-game show.
Yeah. And how crazy is that? Especially you got to see the growth of this team that's active now. I mean, just seeing where they're at, and who knows where they're gonna end up. You be in the finals next year messing around with this squad here.
Yeah, it's cool, man, because we went from a team that when I first got here, they hadn't won a playoff game. They'd gone to the playoffs 3 or 4 times, but they had been swept every time. The first year I come, we go to the playoffs again with Zach Randolph, Gasol, and Mike Conley, Tony Allen, that core 4. For the next 7 years, we go to the playoffs 7 straight seasons, go to the Western Conference Finals 1 year. And so at that point in time, it was like, yo, this is the heyday. What more can we ask for? We're winning. What we got going on now is different because we're winning. We have the opportunity to keep winning and maybe get to the championship, but it's the way that we win.
Yes.
And with having the dynamic player that Ja Morant is, it's a different feeling. This was just basketball. Like, we were just a good basketball team. Lionel did a great job of playing the style that fit this team, and it was good to win. This is we're winning games, and now we're in the entertainment NBA. Like I always tell people, there's 2 NBAs. There's the basketball NBA. There's teams in here that just play basketball. Us, Pistons, they don't cross no lines, nothing big. Then there are teams that have entertainment players, and now you become the entertainment of the NBA. Steph Curry's of the league, LeBron James of the league, Kevin Durant. Now we have a guy that Ja Morant that puts us into a different category. So yes, the champions, the run can be there, but this is a totally different animal than what it was in the past. And so we've had to adjust to this style of play, this player, what this team looks like. And we had to fit our broadcast to be as fun and as exciting as they are, whereas this was more in the mud. Let's get gritty. Yeah, this guy be like, oh, what's up? So even our voice flexion is different with this team as it was with our previous winning Grizzlies team.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that because again, you gotta adjust as well too, as far as the commentators to the style of play and to the part you mentioned, the whole entertainment part of the league here. How's being an ex-player? How's your relationship with the team?
Oh, it's good, man. We just had the FedEx St. Jude, the golf tournament was here at here in Memphis at Southwind, and so I sat and watched 2 days ago, Saturday, with our head coach, Taylor Jenkins,
Mm.
and one of our assistants, Scooney Penn. We sat and watched for about 2 hours and just talking about basketball. We're talking about golf, talking about life. And
Yeah.
I think that the thing, they appreciate the job that we do in terms of how we sell the team when the game is going on,
Mm-hmm.
how we critique, how we call games. And because of that, in turn, they're very open to us in the way that and how they treat us. So we can go to every practice. Like I said, I had a candid talk with Taylor with how I feel about the team, and he's like he has his thoughts of where it is, and so we have that back and forth. And I think the respect of course, me being a former player, but more so to the fact of I care about this job and I do it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't just think that things should be given to me or they should live because I did play or because I was here or
Mm-hmm.
who I am in this city. That's not the way I carry myself. I'm respectful of them. And so in turn, we pretty much have an open door policy with our relationship with the coaching staff and also the players. Because I always tell people the players' families watch us more than anybody. Yeah. Because when they go to play an away game, they turn on the TV and they're going to turn on us calling the game. Mm-hmm. And so they also appreciate the way that we talk about the team. If you're playing bad, we say it, we move on. Things are going good, we're up. So I just think that our style of calling games is one in which they know it's always going to be fair. They know that we're never going to kill our guys. And we respect their space. Like, people always say, so how many times you talk to Josh? I say, all right, when I see him, and that's it. Yeah. Now, we don't go to dinner. I don't tell him what he should do. I don't do that. If somebody asks me something, then I give them my opinion. Right. But I let them have, that's their space. I'm no longer a player. Like I'm on this media side. Mm-hmm. And I keep myself I say I'm not the media, I just call games. So I keep myself on the call games bubble and I let those guys be who they are.
Mm. Now, even being a former player and obviously, seeing the game change a little bit here, where you at with everything? I kind of hate when they just, some of these old heads back when I played or back when they played, it was better, it was this, it was that. I mean, every era has its own thing here, man. Like, Where are you at with everything?
It was different. Mm-hmm. It was different. Now, what I do say is the rules of the game also, though, have changed the game. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I say, right. And I would, and why I say is because, and I say because I think the rules don't allow teams to be able to play to their strength, which is the Grizzlies of old. That was a great defensive team. May not have been great offensively, but they could lock you down defensively, make the game ugly to give them a chance. Wouldn't have a chance in today's NBA because of the way that the game is called. And so I just say we're trying to make the game be one way and say that everything has to be scoring, high up tempo, shoot threes. But the game is the game of basketball is a beautiful game in and of itself when it's played the right way. Whether you're scoring 120, you have games that are excellent games where people score 100 points. Let's score 102, but it's still a highly competitive, good basketball game. And so that to me is the only thing. The rest of it, hey man, it's a different game. There's no reason in me trying to talk about. Well, that's why I don't try to do comparisons of back then. But because we played differently. Mm-hmm. The rules were different. We played different. Y'all play differently today in how the way that y'all play and how the game is officiated and what the objectives are. Our objectives were we're gonna pound it inside. Now it's just shoot as many threes. Have as many guys on your team that can shoot perimeter shots as possible, and then let's get up as many shots and play as fast as you can play. And so it is the philosophy of the game is something I think more that I would talk about than how players are playing, what they're doing. And I never bring it up. The one thing I always say is if someone should take a foul at some point in time, slow somebody down, do something like that, I say, but I never talk about. Yeah, it was back then. It was. I know. It's just crazy. I ain't old and grumpy for what reason? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
How would your style of play fit today, man? I know you like the mid-range game here. You have to step back a few feet here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
let them go.
Well, I would have to at least attempt them.
That's
But
my
the thing is, but here's the thing is, what I would say though is the mid-range shot will be more available. And and if you watch the game as it's going the last couple of years, you're watching more people take mid-range jump shots than they had when they said mid-range game is dead. No more mid-range. Only shoot layups, only shoot threes. Well, what happens with that? Defensively, what are they going to defend? Layups and threes. What's going to be the shot that's going to present itself? Mid-range jump shots, because that's what they want to give up. So I would say in today's game, I think I would still be effective because the shot that they're giving up is the shot that I want to get.
Yeah.
I don't want to shoot threes. You can defend a three all day if you want against me. That's fine. I want to shoot this mid-range. Your big don't like to play in mid-range. He wants to be all the way back to protect the rim, or he don't come all the way up maybe in blitz, but he don't want to come up because he don't want to move. So I think I would be fine with it in that fashion. But you know, who's to say?
Yeah.
I might, if we say, I might be more like a Trae Young type player if I was coming up right now. I might not have been the defensive minded Brevin Knight at that time, because now that's not the thing that is coveted. I wouldn't worry about field goal percentage the way I did back then, because today field goal percentage really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, good point, man. Sports, basketball, football, baseball, whatever it was that you might have played, man. Like, what is it giving you that sticks with you to this day?
Work ethic. It's giving me drive to, no matter what the odds are, that you could still get it done. It's also giving me a way to know how to communicate with people, which has probably been the best attribute that I could say that I took away from team environments, where you're going to have different personalities, and always being the guy that has to bring it all together. I had to learn quickly how to talk to someone, how to get the most out of this guy, how to be able to read what this body language means from him. So it taught me how to be a better manager of people, which has helped me in every aspect of my life.
Nah, definitely. I know. Put you on the spot here, man, on the back end of all of this, man. I mean, I know you media savvy, so hopefully, you know what I mean, you don't have to use any of that savviness. You know, just be straightforward and have some fun with some of these questions, random, not so random, what have you here.
I'm ready.
You good? All right, I'm a yo-yo all over the place a little bit too.
All right.
So when driving, I'm gonna take you back up top here, man. Parkway or the Turnpike?
Oh man, I'm always on the Parkway.
Okay.
Back in the day, I was on the Parkway. I don't know what the Parkway looked like today. If they ain't add no more lanes, the Parkway is trash now.
Yeah. Great adventure action park.
None. I hated amusement parks when I was young, bro. Okay. I hated roller coasters still to this day. I don't like that drop feeling. The only place I like to go to Disney, I like to go to experience parks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You go to Disney, it's gonna get a 3D movie, some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do those things. I didn't like amusement parks. I got on my first roller coaster.
I was about to say with the kids.
Senior cut day, yo. Okay. Senior cut day from Senior Hall. We went down to Great Adventure, and I got on some old rickety roller coaster. And I was like, I did it, y'all, and I ain't never did it again.
So with the kids, you didn't go to amusement parks?
Nah, bro. No. Oh, I go.
You just watch them get on
the ride. Yeah, they get on the line. And people are like, oh, man, you feel? I was like, you ain't got to feel bad, yo. I'll sit here. People watch. Give me some can, whatever. Y'all get done. I always tell them, like, to see y'all happy coming off of that ride, bro. I'm happy. Like,
you working it here.
I'm happy.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
I'm being real, yo. That stomach drop. The stomach drop is not for me, yo.
Okay. How about sandwiches or Jimmy Buffs?
I'm Jimmy Buffs, yo.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's different things, yo. Because see, sandwiches, I get Italian cheeseburger
All day.
And then Jimmy Buff, so I'm gonna get that dang going double. Don't put too many of them onions and peppers on it, and I'm gonna rock with that right there.
Okay. The club or block party?
Block party.
Okay. When you ain't playing basketball, I mean, just kind of throughout your travels here, man, like, what's another interest of yours outside of golf?
Yo, I love the zoo, yo.
Okay.
Yo, I've been to just about every NBA city. I've been to the zoo in their city.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? When we go to Disney, I stay in Animal Kingdom. I am an animal fanatic in terms of learning just about animals and every type of animal, how they live, what they do. That is a huge passion of mine. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna volunteer at the Memphis Zoo.
Okay. Do you own any animals? Any pets?
We have 2 dogs, 2 black labs, and I'm looking around like just so because usually they're right here, but they're up at our summer house with the family.
Okay. What about Memphis or East Orange?
Oh, I'll never go against East Orange, bro. That is I already told you, bro. That's my heart. That is who I am. I'm sad some things happen later on between us and the city that sours some things, but the city of East Orange in general will always be who Brevin Knight is.
Nah, that's real, man. Seton Hall Prep or Stanford?
Seton Hall Prep, man. I mean, Stanford was good, and it forced me to grow up. But Seton Hall was like I still got to be around everybody. You know, like I missed. The thing that hurt me a lot was like nobody really got to see me play when I was at Stanford. Yeah. Late game, my games come on at 10.
We was good, man. We stayed up late, man. We stayed up late.
It's like but it's like I wish I could have felt y'all presence though. Like that was the one thing that I missed. And why I love whenever we would come back east, play Seton Hall a couple of times, play in the NCAA tournament. We came back east, and so those were always big games. But yeah, bro, it Seton Hall Prep. And because I got to go home to mom's every night, Joe. It was that to see Brenda Knight every night was a joy for me.
Nah, absolutely. Little lads or North Y?
North Y, man. North Y was us. Little lads, I was still fighting, bro. I couldn't. I was just trying to get on the floor, man. I had no direction. North Branch was like, we in this, yo. It's our family. You know what I'm saying? This is our family. Yeah. We for real had a family team, yo. We did family fundraisers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you carpooled if somebody needed something. Like North Branch. It's kind of how, if I ever coached AAU, it's how we did our AAU program when I coached my son for 4 years. We did that, and it was the same kids. Some kids, a couple kids may leave. We add, but like another friend or someone we knew, and we did it for 4 years, and it was fun. I loved it. If I ever did it again, I would still do it at that level to help kids, but something that had that type atmosphere.
Take you down memory lane here, man. I think.
Yep.
Real quick, once again, do you remember? We had to be I don't remember, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I don't remember. Joe had us play some grown men that probably just got out of just came home from jail down there. We play. You get picked about 3 times in a row. I bring this up because, you know, I shared the story throughout my years with those that saying like, don't tell me you can't do something or whatever the case is, man. Like I said, I remember. I mean, you just bringing it up. These, like I said, full-grown adults. I mean, Joe won't never admit it to this day, but they're full-grown adults, you know. But they get you about 3 times in a row. But the thing was, Joe was like, "Give Brevin back that ball." It was like we couldn't pass it. We couldn't try to bring it up ourselves. He said, "Give it back to Brevin. Brevin, bring that ball up." And at that fourth time, you get it over the court here. I don't know. Joe, when I saw him not too long ago, he talked about that, but he also talked about you thanking him. I guess from there on, as far as you were using that basement in that house of yours, working on that handle and everything, so making sure that would never happen again. You remember this?
Yeah, yeah. I remember because Joe was he was also instrumental in terms of like he always he kept pushing us, and the reason why he made us play against them, if you don't remember, was because we thought we was better than what we were.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was he was like, oh y'all okay, y'all think y'all just gonna do y'all can do whatever. Y'all think y'all that good. Y'all need to learn, y'all need to play the right way. Because remember, Joe was like, we're gonna play the game the right way. Like you ain't gonna just be out here no haphazard dribble all day, watch one person, this guy open, you don't pass it to him. Like that wasn't how we played basketball. Mm-hmm. So that was the learning experience, and why I always say it was, there's a lot of things you take away. And for him, the learning experience was don't ever act like you are bigger than what you are.
Right.
Because there's somebody that can knock you off or whatever, this little pedestal that you're on. Mm-hmm. And so I guess the thanking him for that was the belief in me, though.
That's right. That's right.
That was what I thanked him for, because up until that point, it was just like, all right, Brevin, all right, sit down. He's out. Put somebody else in, or let somebody else bring you. Hey, just go down the floor. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Now he's like, give Brevin back. Yeah, give him back the ball.
Exactly. And so that from that, just so many of those little experiences have helped me along the way.
Yeah. Coach Farrell, what does he mean to you?
Coach Farrell was he was good because all the same way as I like regiment and stuff is exactly how he coached.
Okay.
Like we were gonna run these plays. We came in practice every day and we did these drills. And that was the way it was gonna be. This is the Seton Hall prep way. I'm like, cool. I know exactly what we're gonna do. And we boom, boom, boom. Now we had wild cards within the doom doom. The wild card early was Ira. He was a wild card. It was like when things went crazy, we were gonna run 13, get on the ball, get out the way.
Yeah.
That's how it was. After, when it got to be my senior year, I was the wild card because it became, we went boom, boom. But I was like, no, Bob, I want to run this now. Let's do this. I see this. And he had to be like, okay, all right, I believe, because he had enough trust in me that we built up that he knew I was thinking and doing something that was in the best interest of everyone. And so he allowed me to know that boom, boom works, but also having a wild card allows you to be able to take the next step. And so Bobby was great. He was good. He had that same fire to win. He had that, and Bobby, when he started stamping on the floor with them damn penny loafers on, and nobody just didn't really think he had a soul anymore or less. Going into the locker room, some of the fiery speeches we had, his want to win, will to win was as big as anyone.
Now, I know you played in thousands of games, man. Like, best game you ever played in your life. Does anything stick out? Like, whether professional, college, what have you?
Man, AAU, man. I was playing AAU. First time I started playing, I went back and played my own age group, which was 16U at one point. And we went down and played in Florida. And I was playing with Shaheen Holloway.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, you play the point, man. I'm gonna work on this shot. I've been working on this shot. And I could not miss. I had 40-point games. And this is Stanford came down to watch. After they saw me in Summer League, then they came down and watched me play in this AAU program, in this AAU tournament, and was like, oh, what the hell did we get? Well, I never made no shots like that ever again. I'm talking about, it was, for one weekend, I felt like a Steph Curry, I felt like a Reggie Miller. It was literally, and he had 46 in one game. It was like, I literally would be like this, like, you know,
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah.
And so I remember that as being that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, nah, and it sounds like obviously that led to you, heading west too.
Yeah, it definitely was. It enabled me to go out west, and then I was. I mean, it was a great move. Met great people. Like I said, I grew up. Had to grow up quick.
Yeah.
And that became, that's like a little bit of a second home for me, because I spent so much time out there.
Yeah. You remember your first regular season game?
Heck yeah, I remember it, man, and almost missed the bus. Me and Cedric
I'm about to say I
Henderson.
only want to ask what y'all was up to, but almost missed the bus.
Almost the bus, man. We make it to the bus, get to the gym. So at this point, I'm not starting and with the Cavaliers. So we don't even know how much we're gonna play. So we sit at the end of the bench, just kind of sitting there. The team not playing well. And Fratello's like, he knew that we had almost missed the bus. He knew that we out. He was like, call to put us in. Like second, I'm like, oh shoot, for real?
Yeah.
We go on the game. Yeah. And I think in that first game, I think I had 17 and 9. Said went off, like we went off in those minutes. And it was like, it almost for he and I, we both at the end of the game was like, yo, this NBA thing can't be this easy, yo. Like we was just out there, like it was like we was just hooping. And then from that point on, it was like that's what we did that whole year. We just went out and then it changed to where I started starting and then Sid started starting and then we went. It was just us hooping. But that first game, what I remember most was we almost lost money on that first game, and then he tried to show us up, but we showed him.
Yeah, and Fratello, he's a Jersey guy too, I think.
Jersey,
yeah.
Mike, I love Mike. Mike would curse you out, do all of that. You could yell and curse at him. Whatever happened at the end of every day, he'll tell you, come here, grab you, kiss on both cheeks, and say, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why I love Fratello.
Best team you ever played on?
That first year Cleveland team was good. After that, the politics of the game, the lockout happened.
Okay.
After my rookie year. And that really changed a lot for a lot of us on our team in terms of the trajectory of careers changed with that lockout. But that first year team there, and I love my Charlotte Bobcat team. Didn't win a lot of games, but a bunch of underdog. It took me back to our North Rams team.
Yeah.
Bunch of people, bunch of castaways. Guys, an expansion team, whatever, just put them on the team. And we had to just go out there, bond, and didn't win a lot, but we were not an easy out on a nightly basis. And for me, it gave me a chance though to now play again like Stanford Brevin.
Yeah.
And that's what I was out the league before that. You know, nobody was gonna give me a chance. I played 7 years, and then that was gonna be it. And then Bernie Bickerstaff said, "I'll give you a training camp. I'll let you come to training camp. I can't give you a contract. We can give you a training camp deal, and then you'll be third on the depth chart." I was behind Jason Hart from Syracuse, Omar Cook from St. John's.
Yeah.
Those are two people in front of me. And no disrespect to either one of them. Jay Hart, my guy, still to this day. But I looked at both of them and was like, neither one of y'all gonna keep me out the league. Yeah. And it was literally, you know what it was? Salvo Park.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And down there,
it was literally Salvo Park.
And down in Charlotte, you led the league in assists, I think.
Led the league in assists, and then I went 3 straight years of being in the top 3 in assists in the league. Tops and steals, 2 of those years, me and Gerald Wallace.
Yeah. Now Kwame, he was on that team down there with
Kwame he was on our team for a little. He was there for a minute. Primo Brezic, Jason Capono, Matt Carroll. I'm sorry, we just had Emeka Okafor, who we drafted.
Yeah.
That inaugural season. I mean, it was just a bunch of guys came through. That's where Keith Bogans and I became great friends.
Okay.
And so I can go down a list of the guys that were on those teams, but it was just, I always say, a bunch of castaways that all came together with the ultimate leader. And I thought, and Bernie Bickerstaff, who was perfect for a guy to start off with that group of players.
Mm-hmm. Nah, definitely, man. And in regards any game you like to have back, is it one like every now and then, but like, damn.
That Marist game in the Tournament of Champions, my junior year, when Roscoe Harris hit a half-court shot to beat us. That's what I want back. See, I tell you, the NBA, man, the NBA is that's the business. I was trying to make as much money as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wanted to play well, but I was trying to make money. All of my true basketball memories and things of that will go back to college, will go back to high school, and the one that I don't care anything that now somebody may say, well, what about? Like I said, the thing in Utah in the NCAA tournament where there should have been a foul, they didn't call, maybe that. But at the end of the day, Roscoe Harris making that, it wasn't even half court. It was almost between the top of the key and half court shot for them to beat us in the Tournament of Champions my junior year. I want that situation back, and for it to happen how it should happen with him missing.
And then that game too, y'all probably went at John was on that team, Geraldo too. So y'all probably
Yes.
Speaking of those years, your era, or you could take any era here. I'm gonna go back the high school route here. I'm gonna use Salvo as the playing court here. You could bring anybody from your era with you as far as to play against any a New York, let's just say a New York squad coming through Salvo to play. Who you running with?
From back home?
Let's go back home.
Shoot. Ira coming with me. If we could take the players from back of that they were, I want Rod Rose to come back with me.
Mm-hmm.
I throw my. There really wasn't a lot of bigs back then.
It could be positionless. Yeah, it'd be positionless.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then, see, like I was a real big Allen Watson fan.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we was playing, and we
y'all went at it. Y'all had some battles.
We had real big battles that were fun to go through. Oh, I'm trying to think who else would we see? It was always older guys that were.
You could toss them in.
That I was playing with, because really I would say for me it would be Marquise Bragg. I would throw him in there I put Marquise for my big. I need my big horse down there to do something for us. And that's it, because I'm trying to think outside the box and not just say, because really for me it would just be I would just rock with my boys. Tell Strick, come on, let's go. Let's go over here to the park. Y'all can bring whoever y'all want to bring. And if you can give me Keith, Ira, Strick, bring Al, and then Omar Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Throw him on our team.
Yeah.
I mean,
you said enough. Nah, definitely, man.
But I'm gonna tell you, hold on. Another Bulldog back in the day.
Let me hear this.
Abdul Madison.
Yeah.
And because back then, you know how Draymond Green playing right now?
Mm-hmm.
That was Ab. With a little more offense, that was Ab, yo. Bully everybody, but still play the game.
I could see that, yeah. I could see that.
Bully everybody on the court, but still play the game.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Now, you the best to ever come out of the Seton Hall prep?
Come out the prep?
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's always going to be a couple of people that think that they are, but I don't know if there's anyone better than myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah, I
No, I
appreciate
mean,
the
listen,
honesty.
we gonna always people gonna always say that they think our team did this or that, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard pressed. You're gonna be hard pressed to come up with somebody. And I know Gibbs did what they did in terms of scoring and things of that nature. But now I'm always say me. I'm the best that came out of there.
As
Or my last name is the best that came out of there.
Yeah. Nah, can't say much to that at all. Can't say much to that. Someone who should have made it, however you define made it.
My brother. Man, my brother's a winner, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the only one I'd say that rivals the winning and the winning percentage that we had at Seton Hall Prep. And then, I mean, it was just unfortunate. His draft class, he was the best point guard, just didn't get drafted. But then he started to work his way up, was getting his call-ups. And then when he breaks his leg, has to get the rod in his lower leg. And that never really allowed him the opportunity to reach a point that he most definitely should have been at. I mean, he was again the toughest player in the Big East that got results for Pittsburgh that people just didn't give enough credit to. Nobody wasn't talking about Pittsburgh basketball since Charles Smith.
And those guys, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He went there and they won Big East championships. Not just start talking about them. They won Big East championship. And it was solely because of how he organized it. And so I hate that he never had the opportunity to really reach that pinnacle of being a professional player, because he was definitely a pro, and I say deserved it. There were things that he did was way better than what I could do. So I hate that he never had that, but he's did a great job of pivoting, and now has become one of your best college coaches going right now.
Yeah, that head coaching gig is around the corner.
For him, it's the right gig.
That's the
thing. You get into the position where he is at this point. It's like, do you want to drop down? Are you where your status is? Are you happy with the status where you are? Do you so you have your decisions to make, your age, where you are, what other things you may have in mind. And so he has had opportunities, but he is in a position that not a lot of coaches could be in, to want to pick the job that he gets.
Yeah. Nah, and it's interesting between him and then speaking another one of your Seton Hall alum, Ira, too, as far as the whole coaching gig, too. Like, they both out there just doing that coaching thing, doing it very well, too.
Yeah. No, Ira down in Auburn he's doing a great job. I'm happy for him. And, he's another guy that I could see at some point getting a real shot at being the head coach.
Definitely.
With the way that he sees the game, the way that he talks the game, and the way that he cares about kids, he would be a great head coach.
Oh no, say no more. Absolutely, man. Now, as far as what's the best part about being Brevin Knight?
Man, I think the best part is being a husband, being a dad to great kids, but having the access that I have to do the things that I do. I am blessed to be able to go and do pretty much whatever I would like to do, because I can reach out to someone to make sure that it happens.
Yes.
And I think that is something that very few people in this world have the opportunity to do.
Nah, absolutely, man. And you mentioned the father piece, man, as far as best part about being a dad, man.
Hey man, just watching these knuckleheads grow up, man.
Yeah.
In the stages, because now, our kids are 24, 21, soon to be 18. And so the stages have changed.
Right.
The parenting has changed.
Mm-hmm.
But them still needing you to guide and help hasn't changed. The relationships have evolved to being different relationships. Now you go out to dinner and I got 2 kids that are ordering alcohol.
Yeah.
You're getting glasses of wine, at
Yeah.
dinner. And so
Mm-hmm.
that changes the conversation and what we talk about. And it is no longer as much telling them what to do as it is advising,
Right.
kind of giving them words of wisdom. And then from there, they take what they think they need, what they want to kind of learn on their own. And so it's been fun navigating that and kind of looking forward to, what they'll look like as they move forward. But it's just been fun from day one to see them can't talk, can't do anything for themselves, to working for themselves,
Yeah.
living their lives. Shucks, our oldest daughter lived over in Paris for the past year. She just came home, and so it's just fun. It's fun. It's fun. Like I said, the stages of their life has been fun going through it.
No, I'm sure, man. And like I said, as you're saying that and just sharing that, like I said, I have this little 8-year-old monster. I'm just like, I'm buckled up and ready for the rest of the ride. But I know it's gonna get interesting.
It's gonna be a ride, and there's gonna be ups and downs, and it's gonna be smooth, and it's not, and it's gonna be, and you kind of just you ride the wave. I always tell people you create some expectations that they have to reach. You have
Right.
some goals that you want to get, something that keeps them active, and because they're gonna keep you more than active no matter what.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely, man. A book on your life, Brad. What would you call it?
Underachievers can win in the end.
Underachievers could win in the end. Okay, I see the logic in
Or
that.
that's not the right, underachievers is not the right word. It is perceived underachievers,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
or underdogs. That's what it is. Underdogs can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the title would be.
Okay. Okay.
Underdog success.
Yeah. What advice would this Brev give that 17, 18-year-old senior year Brev? What advice would you give him?
To be more open-minded. That the biggest thing. It was to not think that, to not have such a narrow thought at that time, because as much as I thought that I had wide thoughts, that I could see beyond, the reason why I was okay to go away to California to school, because I didn't want to just go down the street to Seton University. I knew that. I knew I wanted to experience something else. But even though I went out there and I thought I was going to experience something new, I didn't really experience anything new. I just stayed in my comfort zone, which was around people that look like me, people that talk like me, listen to music like me. I would tell myself to be more open-minded, and with that open-minded, really get to know more than just your comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, well said, man. And what would those parents of yours? What would they say about you?
Oh man, they would say that they think that he has finally grown up. They think. But I think that they would be very proud of the man I am, and I know that I would not be who I am if not for my wife. I mean, I think she has really helped mold and shape, and there's still probably a lot of things that I still need to do, but with her by my side, and I think that it has. I've grown a lot. I still got some more ways to go, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Now we all are, man. We all work in progress, man.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm getting there.
nah, most definitely, man. Last question. One-on-one tournament. Brevin Knight, Brandon Knight, and Melvin Knight. Who wins?
I think Pop wins, man. If we take it back to where he was, because he's the most athletic of the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots it better than the three of us.
Okay.
And so, and one-on-one, he was also, and because of that, that gave him the better option to be able to defend with his strength, using his athleticism, but then on the offensive end, use it again, which is the way to be able to elevate and shoot. The one thing people always talk about is like, you can't believe how high our dad got on his jump shots. And I hate that I can't, I've tried getting with the university. I just want to see. I'll take one clip. To see what he did when he played. But I think one-on-one, because of those things, he would win. He would have 10. I would have 8. Brand we give Brand maybe 6 or 7, maybe. we just treat him like a little kid.
Surprised you say that, because I know Mr. Knight. Oh yeah, he made it clear that you guys are too small for him.
I told him. I already know.
Yeah, he made that very clear.
Physically, he felt as though with his athleticism, he would be able to play above us.
Mm-hmm.
But I would get a couple steals. I would get a couple of swipe steals.
Okay.
It would be a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
We're going down to the end, and it'll probably be somehow he calls some little baby foul that gives him the ball back, that gives him another chance to win.
Yeah. Nah, Brev, man. I know probably for as long as you could remember now, probably as far as people tugging at you, wanting something, probably me included, but I'm gonna add a couple more wants. I want to thank you for who you are, who you become. That foundation of you has never changed, but you have changed because you're supposed to. We all supposed to grow, evolve, and change. But that foundation, that core of who you are, as far as the personality and everything, hasn't changed, man. And you could easily went another way. That could have went left. You have given me and probably countless other people just the thrill to just see that ride as far as the NBA piece here, man. But I'm just more proud of the person, man. Like I said, it's been great, and definitely I could thank you a million times for tickets when you came up to Boston or what have you. But even outside of that, though, man, thank you just for being who you are, man, and just giving us something to hang on to and say we had somebody that made it to the league and played an extensive amount of time here. But like I said, sitting here talking to you and having this conversation about all of this means more to me than any game you probably ever played, man. So I just want to say thank you just so much just for everything, Brevin. Those are my wants. I just want to thank you.
Oh man, listen, bro. We had some battles, man. We had some times. Our families, we connected a long time ago. That'll last for until the man upstairs says it's time to come home.
Mm-hmm.
And we have both been successful in our own way.
Right.
And so I appreciate that you have continued to be a true friend from day one. Because like you said, your wants were, thank you for being who you are. Appreciate you reaching out. If you do have a ticket, cool. If not, that was always a cool thing about you. It was always, if you could, cool. If not, don't worry about it. And that's to me that wasn't asking to come to a game. That was just like my way of being able to see my brother. So can I get up? Hell yeah. It'll always be like that. Because when I talk about that circle of people that believe, you're in that circle. Like, so that's still my family. All of those people, Eddie Elam, all of them, like that's still like that's still my people. It was good to see him on here when y'all had y'all little sit down talk.
Yeah.
That was cool to watch that. And so it's man, I can never be anything but who I am.
That's right.
Like when people always I see people now, they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't know who you were. I'm like, yeah, you had to apologize to me because I didn't know who you were.
That's right.
So we both just meeting each other right now.
Yeah.
And so I never wanted basketball to define me. I don't want the Grizzlies to define me. I want, as you just said, like who I am to define me.
Yes.
And so that's why no matter what I'm doing, where I go, I always keep that in mind that I represent Melvin and Brenda, and I represent East Orange, New Jersey, and I got to wear that every day.
That's right, and I'll be remiss if I don't say what's up to you, to Mr. and Mrs. Knight, man. I mean, had many times I had to sit in that middle seat. So, absolutely, man. And I know, now sharing my daughter, I was just, I was like, I got to get you down to Memphis for the obvious, to because she's into museums and all this other stuff, and obviously the Dr. King Museum is right there. I've seen it, but I got to get her. She's at that age now, just to get her
She
down
needs
and stuff.
to.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is, you've seen it, it's at a level where she can understand it.
That's
starting now.
Right.
She can have a level of understanding, and then she can understand, and then come on over and get loud in the arena. Watch a great Grizzlies game.
Yeah, Grizzlies game, man, and catch up, man. And I know Bill Street's not too far.
Yeah, Bill Street is nothing but a stroll on over, bro.
Yeah,
nothing but a nice stroll.
Nah, absolutely. Brev, thanks a million, man. Like I said, for doing this and just taking time out, man. Wish you and your family again continued health and everything else, man. And get ready for that empty nest again. You got another year left, man. So enjoy this year, but y'all figure it out. Y'all figure it out.
Yeah, we'll be all right, man. We got the rhythm down, routine. We know exactly what to do. We know, and if it gets bad, I know, just go on a golf trip.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it, family.
Love, man.
Back at you, man. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, no doubt, Brev. All right, peace. Good stuff. Like I said, good things come to those who wait. I'm waiting on this one here. Appreciate Brev just taking time out, man. Still, the core of him is still that same, I don't know, 6, 7, 8th grader that I met here. And I appreciate the time him just willing to share and take a walk a little bit here. That being said, I'm just gonna step away. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.